Hi everyone, we are in Seguin, Texas. This is not a small town, but it has a really interesting city center, worth a look. Probably we're not going to see all of it because it will be like a 30-minute video, but let's just take a look at the downtown and see if there's anything interesting. As you can see, it is very intact and kept up. That specific building in particular. And you have the courthouse, which is absolutely gorgeous. I can't tell if this is brand new or old. It's in such good shape. I'm not really sure. It has Art Deco inspired influence in the doorways, but a very beautiful building. You see it. There's a lot of buildings over here. Very busy highway though. (1890s), 1901, pretty old. There's a better look at the courthouse though. They have a Veterans Memorial right there. Guadalupe County Courthouse. And here's something interesting. This is the home of the world's largest pecan. Well, you can't really see it very well because the sun is right in front of me. But trust me when I tell you this is a big pecan. And here's the little plaque if you can read it. So the early Spanish explorers were impressed by the pecans back when they first explored this region. And on that note, we have another marker. Just talks about the explorers that passed through here. Cabeza de Vaca in 1528. Wow. And all these others. So, very cool. Let's take another look at the front of this building. They got the Justice. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can probably see it, but yeah, there's a little sculpture of the Justice, blind Justice lady. And there's a neat little water feature. We got Ebi Ebi Sushi right across the street, and they're open. I bet you everybody in the courthouse goes there to eat. There's a little antique store, 1917. It's a very interesting building right there with the adornments on the front facade. And You have La Plaza. Is that a hotel? Not a very attractive building, but it does have a style. All right, let's explore a little bit more. There's the back side of this courthouse. Just this whole complex is just full of pecan trees, so they're really leaning in on the pecan theme. See, there's more pecan trees in this park. As you can see, it's a big park with a little water feature. You got a gazebo over there, public restrooms, and a large sculpture. Look at this. Any woodworker would love that. And we have a not sure who that is. Let's take a look. Oh, is this Juan Seguín? Yep. Yep, there is Juan Seguín. Let's see, his whole name is Juan Nepomuceno Seguin, October 1806 to August 1889, so he lived a very long life. And he's one of the founding fathers of Texas. It's an interesting little building. It's the Park Plaza Hotel. Has a very interesting architecture in the front facade. Very, very pretty. I just like to be in that top floor with that little balcony. That'd be sweet. But yeah, very nice looking hotel. I'm guessing this hotel. I'm not even sure if it's open. But it could be. It's another interesting building. That's super interesting, but we are going to fast forward to this corner. All right, we're back. As you can see right here, we have a very gorgeous theater. It's called the Palace. At the time of filming, it is the beginning of November, so we already have our Christmas stuff coming up, and Elf is being played over here for a family fun day, so that's cool. But I always like to film these old theaters. I'm glad they're still being used. So next to it is a furniture store. Oh, and according to that sign, there's bargains, so check it out. And that, according to the door, is founded in 1910. It's a very beautiful building, though. Let's go to those little adornments above the windows. Very nice. Now, this is a bank right here, and what's special about this building is it has very interesting Spanish architecture, especially in the doorway. We might get a better look from the other side of the street, but I just wanted to show off these architectural features right here. Look at that. Very nice. Columns and let's reorient my camera. There we go. Look at that. Little florets. And these great little eagle right there. So very interesting architecture. And this is the Nolte National Bank. All right, we're going to cross the street and take a look at. Okay, that's a Nolte building right there. All right, I'll pause for a second. There's the Nolte building right there. Pretty interesting tin roof right here. I'm glad they kept it. So I'm gonna walk around this corner, check out this house real quick. And a very beautiful house right in the town center. A fixer-upper. This could be a great. Look at those columns. Look at that. Corinthian style columns. You can always tell the Corinthian whenever they're very, very frou-frou. The Doric are the plain ones. So very beautiful columns. Wow, this house could be a wonderful fixer-up. Although it probably cost $1 million to fix up a house like this nowadays. Very beautiful. Okay, all right, we'll go. All right, we're going to go back to the center. Here's the park from across the street. We have the Seguin Visitor Center right here. And a little mural telling you all the interesting buildings. I wish I would have looked at this first before I started filming, but here you go. Here's the list of the buildings that are notable. Got an 1842 Magnolia Hotel. Wow. So, yeah, there's a lot to see in this little town. Now, this is not a little town. There's another mural. This one picture tells the history of this town. The old Stagecoach Road, Seguin, Texas. The old Stagecoach Road route ran in the middle to late 1800s along this street past the old Ranger Station, an early Guadalupe County Courthouse, and Magnolia Hotel. And you got some nice old building right here, probably from the 1900s. And across the street we have the tin shop, Vivero Hardware, which is now a law office. All right. Patricia Finch, she will get you off on a misdemeanor, guaranteed. And you got the courthouse right across the street. A little better look at it. I just walked past the art gallery, which was interesting. The local artists selling their wares. Let's take a look down here. An old 1917 building right there, which is Grace Jiu-Jitsu. We'll look, go across the street. All right, we're on the other side. This building right here is very interesting architecture. And this red brick building right here is very nice. So, get out of the road. Yeah, it's a very busy intersection. This makes it really hard to record. Now let's take a look at this side right here. We have the loan office, a little pawn shop, I think. And you have the Schultz Saloon, 1900, Big Chief Cigar Company. Next to a very well done restoration of that building, which is a Remax. Let's see if we can cross right here. Okay. Here's the Remax building, which is a gorgeous restoration. See if we can get a look at it without the sun. Nice beveled corner that I like. Cast iron columns in the front door and beautiful archways over the windows. Love it. We have another law office and a barber shop. I'm glad barbers are still putting up these little spinny barber poles. I hope that never goes away. You got Marty G's Lounge and Party Hall. So you can party while talking your case at Angela D. Nickel Law Office. All right, and right across the street here is another barber shop, the Texas Hair Stop. So they're competing. It's a very nice old building, probably from the 19-teens. Very pretty. Here's another thing that I like, the old advertisement. You know, this used to be probably a restaurant called the Oak. So the sign's still there. Of course, the business isn't anymore. Or at least it doesn't look, well, it could be still there, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. And here's the municipal building, built in the same style as the courthouse. And it's very beautiful. We got the Seguin Bar and Billiards. Nothing really spectacular about these old buildings, but they're there, and that's what counts. That's what matters to me. I just want them to be here. And here is the Heritage Museum right here at this corner, right by Mr. G's bail bonds. So nice old building. So yeah, check out that museum when you're here. No wind to walk away. No wind to walk. All right, we'll get to this corner real quick. I got a phone call. All right, we're back in the city center by the courthouse. See right there. The star of the show. Maybe there's anything else over here to look at? No? All right, we're gonna go peek around a little bit more. All right, we didn't get a look at the facade of these two buildings right here. This is right across from the courthouse. You have the Tips building from 1890. And then there's the art gallery, the Seguin Art Gallery, and Burnt Bean Barbecue. Now that sounds good. And that is a lovingly restored building, looks great. And next to the Burnt Bean is Southern Good. Maybe a gift shop. You already have a Christmas tree up in there. And there's another look at the visitor center. We got a gourmet shop on the corner. A lot of gift shops here, some antique stores. And there's another look at the Nolte building, which is the Starkey furniture shop, I guess. And here's another look at the Nolte Bank in that Spanish Revival style architecture that I love. This whole block is done in that style of architecture, which probably means the bank owns that whole block. Now here's something interesting. We're in the park and we have a squirrel statue, and there we got a little squirrel hanging out by the squirrel statue. And here's a little memorializing the cattle trail to Kansas, 1866 to 1887. And a gorgeous water feature. All right, everyone. This is Seguin, Texas. I highly recommend anybody, if you're in the area, to check this town out. I did not give it a proper tour. There's a lot more to see over here. You could literally spend a day going in all these shops and reading all the historical markers and doing all that. It's a beautiful downtown, intact courthouse, everything that I love about making these videos. So thanks everybody for coming along with me. And remember, you're all dearly loved. Seguin Beauty School. Is that where I can learn to become beautiful? Is this my shot to being a movie star?